Good afternoon. I'm your host, Steve Bassnett, and along with my co-host, Aaron Marsden, I would like to welcome everyone on behalf of Canasa and Security Canada to our weekly online learning session. While many are stuck at home, we thought this would be a good time to deliver some product and service knowledge that will be beneficial when we're all back to work. I would like to say a special thank you to Petawise for their support and sponsoring today's session. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Mike Teskey. Mike handles technical sales and training at Petawise. Mike is a security technologist with 22 years of experience with security camera systems. He began first installing cameras in 1998, then progressed and transitioned to be a mentor and educationalist of IP camera systems. He performs webinars on a regular basis of a wide range of security systems. Colleagues and business partners look to him for his input and advice. His passion for the industry has grown tremendously over the years. Feel free to type any questions you may have for Mike during the session into the chat window, and he will respond during the Q&A portion roughly 20 minutes from now. I'll now turn the session over to Mike. Welcome, Mike, and thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Steve. And thank you everyone for joining our session today. We're going to get started here. So we are having a lucky draw for anyone that does attend our webinar today. This webinar is hosted by Canasa, hosted by Petawise, but organized by Canasa. So I want to thank everyone at Canasa. And if you enter our lucky draw, you can win one of the prizes below. So today we're going to talk about our UNV heat tracking series and body temperature measurement solutions and products. A little bit about UNV for those that don't know much about UNV. We started in 2005. We are privately owned. We're one of the fastest growing in our industry. And we're the fourth largest market share. We currently sell in 145 countries. 15% of UNV's revenue is reinvested into research and development. Currently, we have 1,477 registered patents, and UNV believes in controlled distribution, so no online pricing. Just a brief overview. Our main, core products is our IP cameras, but we have transitioned over to some heat tracking devices, which we're going to talk about today. With our current situation, the coronavirus disease or COVID-19 outbreak, generally people will have key symptoms, whether they have a fever or coronavirus or the seasonal flu. They're going to have an elevated temperature. And the main purposes of taking one's body temperature is to effectively screen patients with a fever, make sure the area is free of any infection or contamination. Now, the challenge with traditional solutions, mercury thermometers, infrared thermometers, electronic thermometers, and in-ear thermometers, it's a very manual inspection with manpower required. You have to get very close to the other person, so it's easy to get cross-infection or cross-contamination, and it's a very slow process at the entrance or exit. With UNV's heat tracking solutions, it's a very fast solution, much more secure, non-contact temperature measurement. It's much more efficient, and it's a quick process even when one is wearing a mask. It's more convenient and very easy to deploy. If somebody does have an elevated temperature, you can do a manual recheck if needed. So today, these next few slides, we're going to talk about our handheld unit, which is our UNI 2165A and our TIC 600 system. So our handheld unit looks like this. It is very quick and easy to deploy. There's no configuration required, and it's a very cost-effective solution. So I'm just going to play this short video here so you get a good idea on how the unit works. This is UNV's UNI-2168A. It's a professional thermal imager. It's designed to catch people's body temperature as they're walking by the unit, and you can set the temperature threshold. So you can see my colleague is walking in front of it there, and it's detecting his temperature. And the max temperature we have it set at right now, I believe, is 38, but it's detecting 35.8. So this comes with a tripod. It's good for anyone that wants to control anyone coming into their retail space or workspace, or even school space for that matter, to make sure that they have a proper temperature and not an elevated temperature. So this handheld device also hooks up to a PC, which gives you a view on a PC. And you can view it from a PC instead of viewing it from the handheld unit itself. And you can see that it's taking the temperature from the person's body there. And we set the temperature lower, but it does tell you over here the minimum temperature, maximum temperature. And it also creates an alarm. So you heard that buzzing. If somebody comes in with an elevated temperature, it's going to provide a audible alarm. You just heard it there. So that's what would happen when somebody walks in front with an elevated temperature. He's simulating high temperature with a cup of hot coffee. The unit also does provide a visual alarm by these two LEDs going off, as well as the audible alarm, so that you know that somebody has an elevated temperature. So that's a little video on our handheld unit. Now this would be some screenshots from the unit. You can display the temperature in Celsius or Fahrenheit. It does take a center point and a high point for the temperature tracking. Whatever area is hotter or has a higher temperature, either your head or your body, it will read that temperature. It also does have a high and low temperature alarm. We'll talk a little bit about our TIC 600. This is our high-speed thermographic temperature screening system. This is a very fast solution. It works in conjunction with a black body, and the black body is generally 1.5 meters to 3 meters away from the regular thermal camera. The black body provides a much more accurate temperature. It does have very high accuracy with only 0.3 degrees. So this would be your typical setup scenario. You can see on the left here is your topographic map, if you will. And on your right side would be a gentleman sitting at a computer. This would be your typical inspection area. In the next slide here, you'll see some people walking by and how the unit works. So in the top here, there's many people walking by. They don't have to break their stride. It's going to take everyone's temperature as they pass through. If somebody has an elevated temperature, it's going to provide an alert or an alarm. Now the bottom video there, a gentleman is holding a hot cup of coffee, but the system is designed not to deviate from his head, so you won't get any false readings and stuff like that. Where this would be used is, places where there's a lot of people, campuses, construction sites, shopping malls, airports, railways, seaports, anywhere where there's a lot of human traffic. We're going to talk a little bit now about our OET-213H. This is our facial recognition terminal. Now this system also doubles as an access control unit. There's a short video here which I'll show how it plays. It's a very accurate system. It actually takes the temperature measurement from your wrist. It does hold 10,000 faces if you're going to combine it with an access control system. So here's a short video.
This is UNV's new face terminal with temperature. It automatically will alert you that you need to check your temperature. It uses your wrist, which is much more accurate than your face. Also, it has alerts if you're not wearing a mask. And and it just sent a notification that I've been verified, my temperature is good, and I'm wearing my mask. This also has a feature to tie into your existing access control. So you could have someone approach your property, confirm their temperature is okay, how they have a mask, and it will unlock the door for them. This is phenomenal.
So you can see that unit is set up as a standalone system on a desktop there. It does come with that desktop stand. There is different accessories. This system can actually be desk mounted, as you saw in the last video. It can be wall mounted, as you see in the top right image there. And there is also an optional pedestal stand, which you can see in the middle there. That is generally the recommended setup. This system, the advantages is it's very safe. There's no direct contact with the target. It's a very small size with high reliability. It's very accurate in taking the temperature, and it's very efficient. You can take the temperature of 20 to 30 people per minute. Typical application scenarios for this type of unit would be schools, enterprise sites, community centers, construction sites. And it's very accurate. It's over 99% if somebody is not wearing a mask, and just over 90% if somebody is wearing a mask, if their face is in the database or in the unit itself. And the unit can hold 10,000 faces. Now, a little bit about this unit. The standalone solution, it can do facial recognition, it can take temperature, it can, notify the person if they're wearing a mask or not. That is optional, as well as opening the door. If you have electronic door strike or a mag lock, you can tie this into your existing access control system. It also does have all kinds of voice prompts. As you walk up to the unit, it says welcome. It'll tell you, please wear a mask if you're not wearing one. That is optional as well. The system is designed to work with our VMS solution, and when it is tied in with the VMS solution, you can get all the background information from the VMS as well. Integration with a card. The system does have an integrated card reader, so if you're going to hook this up to a mag lock or electronic door strike, you can use it in that manner. It is a MyFair 1 card reader on the unit, but it also does have the WeGand outputs, which enable you to hook this up to your existing card access control system. We're going to talk a little bit about our human body temperature measurement gate. This unit, the model number is OPD-533TM. You can see what the unit looks like here. It has an LCD screen, which gives you your pass count or your alarm count. It also has a metal detector built into the gate and infrared sensors on the gate. It actually works in conjunction with the OET-213H, which you see on the right image. So this type of system will take your body temperature. You can also use it for facial recognition, and it will check for any metal. It does have 18 metal detection zones on the system. So it actually has lights up and down each pillar. So if there's a security guard there present, he will be able to see exactly on one's body where the metal is. It's very interesting. The measurement accuracy is 0.1 degrees on this system, and it is very fast and very reliable. Typical scenarios for this system, you can use this in distribution, office areas, warehouses. Also, you can implement it at university campuses, libraries, airports, prisons, stadiums, stuff like that, where you need very high security. Finally, we're going to talk about our CW180 temperature measurement kit. This is a short video, which we'll show here.
Please expose your wrist. Normal temperature. Please wear a mask. Normal temperature. At normal temperature, please recheck manually.
Verification succeeded. Please pass. All opened. Normal temperature without permission.
This is the all-in-one CW180. This unit does have the wrist module on it as well, so it's hard to tell which one, but I will pull it up here. So this unit does give you the cumulative count for the people that have come in. You can use the bottom area as an advertising display there, or you can leave it as default and it shows where to stand and take one's temperature and stuff like that. This unit does show the temperature here of one's temperature. So the left side here on the mobile application does show an abnormal body temperature of 36.8 degrees, and it provides a mobile alert to anyone that has the access to the EasyView application. And you can see a snapshot taken on the right there. And this shows again the specified area where you would stand. You put your wrist close to the device, and if you have a normal body temperature, it will tell you to please pass. If you have an abnormal body temperature, there will be an audible alert. Where this type of system would be used, enterprises, supermarkets, hotels, government buildings, or even schools. And that's it for today. I just want to thank Steve and thank Canasa for putting this on and organizing it. You can see our contact details there on the slide. I would like to pass it back over to Steve.
Thank you, Mike. That was great. We'll now get into our Q&A portion. So if anybody has any questions, please type them into your Q&A window at the bottom center of your screen. First up, we've got someone who has some French customers and wonders if they can get the French upgrade software.
We do have French software for the OET-213H. That is our access control unit. That is available in French as well as English.
Okay. Next up, how does the black body work with the USS TIC 600?
The black body works in conjunction with the TIC 600. What it does is it sits in the frame of the thermal camera, and it provides an ambient steady temperature. And that's what makes the temperature so accurate, because as one would walk in, it always has that ambient temperature from the black body, and that's what makes the camera very, very accurate. It works in conjunction with that black body.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
That looks like all of the questions for today. If, again, anybody has any other questions, feel free to type them in. We'll send them over to Mike at the end. Also, if you'd like to register for the draw, just put your name in the Q&A as well, and I'll make sure to get those over to Mike. So that brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you for joining us, and once again, thank you to Mike Teskey and Petawise for their support. As always, at the close of the session, a link to register for next week's session will pop up. Please be sure to register. We look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, be well.
Thank you, everyone.